So today I am going to be sharing the 5 things that I did to help reduce and shrink fibroids. And before I jump into this video, I want to thank you guys for watching because it has been over a year since I've actually made any YouTube videos. But I'm back. I'm going to hop back into this thing because I know that some of you actually like this format or prefer this format over reading blog posts. And in case you didn't know, I'm Shantae, and I have the blog Blissfully Hormonal, where I share lots of lifestyle tips, lots of wellness tips to help you live your most blissful life possible. And a lot of the information that I share is focused on hormonal wellness and just having happier hormones or blissful hormones, hence the name. So I'm going to be sharing my 5 tips for helping you to reduce fibroid pain as well as other fibroid symptoms, and even these tips might even actually help you shrink fibroids. So I'm just going to jump right in here. My first tip is that I started focusing on anti-inflammatory foods. And I'm pretty sure you probably would have guessed that because there's a lot of conversation around fibroids and fibroid diet and, what diet is the best for fibroids. And my general answer to that would be that everybody is different, but one of the big things that you can do is focus on those foods that are going to fight inflammation. So that's going to be foods that are colorful, rich in antioxidants, high in magnesium. So lots of fruits and veggies. I would even say, like at your meals, half your plate should be, vegetables, right? And fruits. Personally, I always eat fruits alone, and I do some juicing. I will drink smoothies sometimes, but for the most part, I eat a lot of my fruit whole, just so I can get that fiber as well and keep my blood sugar from spiking so much. So, yeah, focus on those anti-inflammatory foods, and that is really going to take you far. So conversely, my second tip is to focus on reducing or completely eliminating inflammatory foods, right? And so those are going to be conventional meats, processed, anything in a package, right? Like anything that is processed beyond what God intended it to be, or, that has all these extra added ingredients in that. So that's going to be most of your food in a package, and it's also going to be like formed fish, processed meats, like a lot of deli meats and stuff like that with preservatives in it. Like, you really want to avoid those foods. And just a general rule of thumb is if you don't recognize the ingredient, it's probably not that good for you to eat. Another rule, because I do feel like companies have gotten better at like marketing and tricking us about what's good and what's not good, forget what's on the front and focus on what's on the back, right? Because a lot of times these companies, they really do, like, they put things on the front that sound good, but then when you flip the package over, these items are filled with sugars, they're filled with processed oils or processed seed oils, they're filled with large amounts of sodium, they're filled with preservatives. So these are all things, gums, thickeners, all things that are really just going to upset your gut and make you just more inflamed, right? So we want to avoid those things. And also something else that will inflame you is eating things that you know that you are allergic to. If you know you are lactose intolerant, leave the dairy alone. Leave the cheese alone. If you know that you are, and I'm really preaching to myself here because I kind of have not an allergy. It's not a full-blown allergy, but I have a sensitivity to almonds, but I love them. Like, that is one of my favorite nuts, and I will eat them sometimes knowing that I'm going to be bloated after I eat it. So leave the stuff that you know that you are allergic to. You know it doesn't agree with you. You know you have an intolerance. Leave it alone. That's another way to avoid inflammation. The third thing that I did that might actually surprise you was that I changed up my workouts. So I used to be a cardio queen. I used to be on that treadmill, on that elliptical, doing all the cardio things, doing the HIIT. And I was like, at one point, I'm doing all this, I'm eating fewer calories, and I'm still not losing weight. And so what I realized, what I later on would come to learn, is that really all I was doing was stressing my body out. Now, I'm not saying if you love cardio, I'm not saying that you have to completely give it up or give it up forever. But if you have any kind of hormone related issue, there's likely a good chance that doing all that cardio will actually only stress your body out worse and make it worse and make your symptoms worse. So, what I suggest instead is focusing on walking, especially walking outdoors, focusing on walking. You can even make it a brisk walk, if you just need to, if you want to get that heart rate up. Doing something like the Stairmaster that's a little bit slower, but it's still a little bit challenging, might work a little bit better for you. But also, adding more weights or strength training into your routine can be super helpful because it can also help make you, it can also help your blood sugar be more stable because you're building that muscle and you're actually making your resting metabolic rate higher, right? So you're burning more calories without having to do as much work. So rethink how you are structuring your exercise, right? And before I go any further, because I think I forgot to give this disclaimer at the beginning of this video, but nothing in this video is medical advice. I am not a medical professional. I'm not your medical professional. I'm not even your wellness coach yet. So any of this information is just based on my experience. It's just based on what I've learned from working with other women and what I've learned with working with my own body. Okay? Now, let's get back to it. So, number 4 is going to be that I focus more on stress management. And this probably should have actually been number 1 because stress is just like we talked about with exercise, putting stress on your body. That can be harmful or not helpful to you, but also your mental and emotional health is very important to manage. So if you have things that you have been dealing with that have you stifled emotionally or that are stuck with you emotionally, there is a lot of evidence that those things will actually affect the inside of your body, including making your liver more sluggish, including making your gut health worse. There's a book called The Body Keeps Score that talks about this, and there is another one. I cannot think of the name of it right now. But there's actually some work out there about this. And even for me, when I went to see an acupuncturist earlier on in my journey, that was one of the things that she discussed with me. So dealing with these unprocessed emotions, learning better boundaries. I think the name of the book that I like is Set Boundaries, Find Peace. Think is the name of it. I'll link these books below when I I'll link these books below so that they'll be in the caption notes. But dealing with stress, finding a hobby. If you have a stressful job, you can't leave your job, fine. Find something that you can kind of just escape to every day, right? To give you some peace. Start productive journaling. Do something that can help you deal with your negative mental emotions, right? Because ultimately, stress actually impacts your gut. It actually makes you more inflamed. So if your gut is inflamed, you can eat all the fruits and vegetables that you want to, but your body might not actually be getting all the nutrition that it needs from the food you eat because you're so stressed. So be sure to make that a huge part of your healing journey, is healing mentally and emotionally. And so my last thing that I changed, or I don't even know if I changed it. Yeah, I would say it was a big change for me. Is I shift my mindset from healing fibroids being a temporary thing or just something that I needed to do now to this being a lifestyle for me. So once I made that shift, it was really freeing because I was actually able to focus on how making these changes was not only going to keep me from growing more fibroids or keep them from getting larger, but long term, I feel like overall I'm just able to have a better life overall, a more blissful life overall, if you will. Because in this journey, there's so much to learn about yourself and there's so much to learn about your body. And so making that connection, making that shift to where this is not just something I'm doing for now, this is a long term thing. This is a long term lifestyle change. So shift your mindset from, I just want to get rid of these fibroids. Like, it's fine for that to be your goal, but make it, make the shift into, this is actually a lifestyle. This is something that's going to benefit me long term and keep fibroids from coming back. So even if you've had surgery, that is still a shift that you need to make because the recurrence rate for fibroids is extremely high after surgery. So that shift is going to help you prevent them from coming back, as well as just ultimately live a better life. And so that's what this is all about. It's not just physically healing, but actually having a more blissful life, you know? So if you're looking for some assistance, you're looking for some accountability, you need someone to help you take the next steps or get to the next level in your journey, I'm going to drop my booking link below in the caption so that you can set up a call with me so that you can make the next steps in your journey. Until next time, be blissful.